So at a very young age, I started using marijuana and alcohol, and I started to embrace that identity. And that's when, my life just completely was out of control. And I was in class one night and I hear some guys talking about an opening on a hotshot crew. And I'm thinking to myself, I have my certs, I can do that job. I need this. I can't put into words how that moment in my life puts such a trajectory into the man I am today. After 2.5 years of fighting fire, like my life was back on track and I left drugs in the past. June 30th, 2013, we'd be called to a fire in Yarnell, and it was a relatively small fire. My superintendent captain are sitting right there, standing right there, and they go, "Hey, Brennan, you want to be the lookout today?" I said, "Of course, Soup, I'd love to." I'm watching the fire, and the fire's moving completely away from us. It's going north, and we're on the south end of this fire. And so I'm relaying stuff back to my superintendent, and he's like, "Yeah, we're seeing similar things up here, and just keep us informed." And around that afternoon, late afternoon, we get a weather event update, and it's saying that there's this storm coming in from the north, and it's gonna bring winds of like 50 to 60 miles an hour, and it's gonna turn this fire around. So instead of going north, it's gonna head south. Over the next few minutes, it starts really picking up, moving south towards us, and I'm closer to the fire than my crew. So this fire now is turned around and it's pushing towards town, and we don't have time. And this fire is starting to burn homes, and I'm watching it continue to progress to where they're at. And it's moving fast. The only way I can describe it is it just kind of skipped with the wind. And so we pull out. We pull everybody out of that area, and they start pulling everyone off the fire line because this weather event has come in a lot sooner than they had suspected, and there was another one behind it pushing it. And we get back into town, and I'm kind of wondering, like, hey, where my brother's at, and I'm thinking to myself, it's kind of getting a little hectic, stay off the radio. They've got plenty of experience, they're all together, they know what they're doing. And I start hearing calls over the radio that they're trying to get water dropped. And then I hear my superintendent over the radio say that they're getting ready to deploy their fire shelters. And I'm thinking, like, what's happened? And we're trying to find a way into where they're at. And we can't find a way in. There's just too much fire on the ground. There's no road in. So they get a helicopter up, and they've got a paramedic on board. And you can hear over the radio, "Hey, I've got eyes on the crew." You can see their shelters. And so they find a spot to land the helicopter. And I can only imagine from his account, he's hiking down. And I hear over the radio, a few minutes later, he says, I've got 19 confirmed. And it hit me that they had just passed away. That this fire had just taken their life. And everything that had led to the man I am today was gone. I didn't really have a strong family growing up. They did the best they could, but those men had defined me as a father, me as a community member, and continually tried to help me rebuild my relationship with God. And I had lost it all in the blink of an eye. It would be months of shock. Funerals, memorials. After the tragedy, I didn't turn back to heroin, but I turned to the bottle. Throughout the day, I couldn't escape the reality of what happened. And when I went to bed, my mind was haunted by the things I had seen and experienced. And I started to drink really heavy. My life was, I can't put it, it was living hell. Everywhere I went, there I was sitting in the mirror wondering, why didn't I die that day? You know, and it took me a while to get honest with myself. And I just started praying and crying. I'm like, God, I can't live like this anymore. And I never wanted to ever question why that day happened. But I do want to know, can you remove this from my life? Because I can't do it on my own. So after hitting rock bottom and having these moments of contemplating suicide, I found myself in counseling. And I thought I knew what recovery was, but I had no clue. I had no clue what my relationship with Christ looked like. I had no clue what recovery looked like. But I found a brotherhood in that meeting again, and it changed my life. I had men again that were willing to rally alongside me and walk alongside me and lead me to a deeper relationship with Christ that healed pain and filled a void that I never could fill with anything else. And that was only His love, only His forgiveness, and only His hope and purpose for my future that puts me here today.